Joining us now, the head football coach of Shepherd University's Rams, Monte Cater. Coach, this is getting to become a regular event.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys as often as possible. Those are good reasons to have a chance to get on with you. But it's pretty exciting here in Shepherdstown, that's for sure.
I'll tell you, what a semifinal that was. I mean, I watched that thing from kick to final second off of the clock. That was a football game now.
It really was, and what we had to overcome, losing your Harlan Hill finalist quarterback. Basically at the beginning of the game, lost a free safety for over half of it. Tough call on that one, but he get a targeting call, so he couldn't play over half of the game. Lost one of our top wide receivers. Let the kids battle, and that's one of the things everybody says. Well, what makes this team special? And everybody has that, and if you've won the ones that you've won, and you haven't been defeated yet, you can always look at different things. But this is a close football team, and they really don't want to let each other down. And it's it's that part of it is what's special. We maybe had better teams, maybe we've had more talented guys, but I think when you get to this point, which we never have, there's got to be something that holds that stuff together, and there's a lot of glue in this group.
Tell you what, that defense just played. I mean, your corners were unbelievable, stride for stride. They couldn't run the ball a lick against you. I mean, it was just like, here it is, right?
Well, and they did make them one-dimensional, and we lost a couple. We lost the ball a couple times on some long ones, especially there at the end when my heart rate went up and everything else. But it was an exciting game. We're going to play in back-to-back weeks two of the most prominent, most successful football programs in Division II, and having been on that national committee, the 3 years I was down there, Grand Valley was down there twice, and Northwest Missouri was down there twice. And it's, they're used to being in those games. They're used to traveling and playing in those types of venues. And, a chance to go ahead and get both of them would be just unbelievable.
Coach, obviously the first question is, what's the status of your starting quarterback in Jeff Ziemba?
I'm not sure that we're going to know until we get much closer to the game. He's better. He's better every day. He's getting treatment all the time. But there's a difference between now I can raise my arm above my head and trying to put some zip on a football on a 20-yard out or something. So I don't know. I would say 50-50 at best. But, you're not supposed to gamble, in college sports. So I really don't know. I think we have maybe a better chance of getting Dalton Boyd back, the receiver. Obviously, we'll get the free safety back, but Jeff's been the guy that's just really been tremendous over the last 2 years of directing our football team, and at least the offense. And it's tough to not have him out there. But bottom line, Connor Jessup goes in the worst possible situation. Hadn't even had a chance to throw much, other than at when you warm up and stuff before the game. He goes in and goes 15-20. Gets two touchdown passes, doesn't throw an interception, and against that defense, that was a great day and just a great pick-me-up for our football team. But again, to get back to that, everybody wants to go ahead and help us win and not let somebody down.
We're talking with Shepherd head football coach Monte Cater. You've had your first few games here at home, a little sense of normalcy. You know the routine. You're playing in familiar territory. Now you go on the road. What have you said to your guys about balancing between this is a business trip and we're there to go win the national title versus enjoy this experience a little bit?
Well, we tried to see if there was a way of playing this one at home, and the CBA said no. But I think the biggest part of this is, you can't just say, hey, it's just another road game, because it's not. But at the same time, understanding the enormity of the situation, that you have a chance to do something that's never been done here. You don't want to go ahead and get them all nervous and everything like that. But I think this group is down to earth enough, and even though we're young, mature enough to be able to go ahead and get into that type of situation and play well. The toughest part is in bouncing you around and going from this dinner or banquet to that meeting to practice at a high school field and then going to the stadium. And there's not a lot of time to go ahead and sit around, and that's probably good too. But I think this group is mature enough to handle that. I sure hope so. I'm betting on them right now.
Monte Cater, the head football coach, Shepherd University, is our guest. They get ready to take on Northwest Missouri State. Okay, so Northwest Missouri State in Division II, in the Division II world, I mean, they are the big boy. They would be in Alabama, right? They would be a perennial team. So when you slap the tape on, give me your impressions of what you're seeing. What are the keys to be successful here? What do you have to do?
It's the best defense in Division II. I think they're number one rush and pass defense. They're huge. I never saw a team that's able to use their hands in terms of defensive technique and stuff like that, like they can. And that includes the guys that are playing on the second level, linebackers in the secondary. They don't make mistakes. And while it's a situation where, they've won 14 ball games and haven't lost, even in those situations where they've had some adversity, they've been able to go ahead and come up with those plays. So, I see some things similar to us. I don't see a team that's as mature maybe as they are, but at the same time, that there aren't a lot of places there that you can say, hey, this is a weakness. This is something we can go ahead and take advantage of. Their offense, they can run, they can throw, they sub in, they do all kind of things with unbalanced line. They're going to challenge us, but our defense has met an awful lot of challenges this year. It's the offense I'm probably a little more concerned about because they're so good up front. And, we're not real big, and certainly you can't say, well, we're freshmen still up front on the offensive line because they played a year together. But I wouldn't say right now that's our strength. So, we've got to go ahead and find a way to stay on the field and not leave a defense out there for the whole day.
You look at some of their statistics, Northwest Missouri's statistics defensively, 66 yards rushing allowed. They've only given up over 95 yards 3 times in 14 games. But for you guys, you ran the ball really effectively this past weekend. Do you still just got to be able to run the football to have any chance?
We got to be balanced, and that includes being able to run the football. If we can't, and they can put their ears back. I mean, they don't have to blitz very much because their front's been so good against the run and the pass, being able to put pressure on. And that's the thing I think it's made them even better is they can get 7 guys back there all the time. They don't have to go ahead and find different ways to put pressure on and blitz and things like that. Not that they won't, but they haven't had to do as much of that because they've been so sound and so talented up front. But we've got to find a way to have some success running the football. Even if you're not having a lot of success, you got to do it some to keep them honest. And maybe that'll set up some play action and stuff like that. That's a pretty basic game plan for a lot of teams. But if we can't run it, it's going to put even more pressure on our quarterback. And, we're not real deep if you're starting your number 2 guy.